Okay, so a few months ago, I had a breakdown with my husband. And like every other couples out there, we've had our own share of disagreements. You see, but on this fateful day, we had this heated argument. I really wanted to drive home my point. We had this argument that really, really upset my husband, which is very much unlike him. But the problem here wasn't even the fact that he was upset. The problem was the fact that when I looked into his eyes, I saw that he was hurt, like it was really, really hurt. And at that point, I told myself, why would I want to hurt somebody whom I care a lot about this way? And instantly, I knew what I was supposed to do. Now, I will tell you what I did. But before then, let's be honest with ourselves, really. You see, arguments occur every now and then, but the problem isn't even the arguments. The problem is how we argue. So ask yourself, are your disagreements creating bonds, or are they gradually and silently breaking them? You see, this video is for the married and the singles who are dating, which is why I'm going to be using the neutral word relationship. So I made a research, and I've been able to put together these tips that can actually help you argue smarter in a way that you don't have to hurt your relationship. Now, be mindful of my choice of words. I did not say that in a way that you don't have to hurt your partner, but I said relationship, because the truth is that if you hurt your relationship, it means that you have created a disconnection between you and your spouse. So I made this research that has worked for me personally and that I have taught to other people, which has worked for them a lot. So I'm going to teach you today, and I would advise that you sit tight and listen to this video. Watch this video till the very end. So let's dive into it. If you really want to argue logically, you need to avoid attacking and focus on the issues. You don't attack your partner, you attack the problem at hand. Because when you do this, which we always do anyway, when we do this, it means that we are shifting focus from resolution to actual destruction. Now, what do I mean by attacking the situation? I will give you an instance. Most of the time when we are arguing, what we always say is always. Like, you always do this, you always say this. For example, you don't always listen to me when I talk. You always disrespect me when you talk to me that way, or when you do this. Now, instead of using you always, I would rather you use I feel. For example, you could say, I feel like you don't listen to me when I'm talking. You don't listen to understand me. I feel like talking to me in that manner is disrespectful to me. Now, when you do this, you're attacking the situation. You're attacking the issue. Now, in these two instances I gave, the issues are disrespect, which is a red flag in any relationship. Disrespect doesn't just cut it. And the second one, which is not listening to understand, is a big issue in a relationship. That shows a wrong pattern of communication. And for your partner to even complain about this, that means you have made it a pattern. So yeah, you have to attack the situation. When you focus on attacking your partner, this will make them defensive and they want to attack back. And of course, that's where argument ensues. That's where conflict arises. Now, another thing you can do is that you don't have to always be at the top of your game. It's okay for you to say, it's okay, let's put a stop to this. That's not avoidance. You are actually trying to be mature. Avoidance is when you don't want to talk about the situation at all. But maturity is when you say, okay, please, can we put a stop to this and revisit this issue when both of us are in a much better mood and we are in a much calmer environment. Okay, so let's always try our best to learn to bury the axe. Let's just bury the machete, bury our pride, and resolve these things like two mature people. Now, another thing is that you don't argue to win. You argue to listen and understand. Now, this is another problem that we give to ourselves in any relationship. A lot of time we are only arguing to come back with a response. We are planning a comeback response, which is not supposed to be so. Like, you're arguing, but you're not really listening to what your partner is saying. What you are saying in your mind is the reply you want to give, the attack you want to give. But this doesn't always work, because it means that both of you are actually not saying anything, because apparently you are not listening to understand me and I am not listening to understand you. So what are we even arguing about? It's just doesn't make any sense at all. So most times when you're arguing with your partner, please try as much as possible to listen and understand what your partner is actually saying. Okay, for example, now perhaps I complain about certain things and we're arguing about that thing. Now my argument might just be that I am not upset because you don't always pay attention, like you don't listen to understand me. Now, because you are not paying attention to understand the points I'm trying to make, you might just be arguing or angry over the fact that, or you may believe that I am arguing because I've asked you to do something for me and you did not do it, or that you didn't do it the way I would want you to do it. But if you really listen and understand, then you will realize that it's not even about what I asked you to do that is upsetting me. It's not about that thing that you didn't do right that is upsetting me. But what is upsetting me is the fact that you don't just listen to understand me. You are just always ready to be defensive and to argue. Now, for your partner to even complain about this, again, that means it's a pattern. So we need to learn to actually understand and not argue because we want to win. Hey, in marriage, two becomes one, right? So when you are arguing because you want to win, both of you have actually lost, because one person cannot lose, one person cannot win, because after all, two have become one. I mean, you do the calculation. So we are supposed to win together. When you can't win together, then you lose totally. Now, another thing that works so beautifully well is when you use soothing words such as, I love you, I just want us to be okay. That's a perfect soothing word. Or you could even start with, okay, I'm sorry. You don't understand. This is not what I was actually trying to say. I'm really sorry. You know I love you so much and I just want us to be fine. You see, when you start your lines this way, it actually resets the energy and calms the whole atmosphere, and automatically you realize that both of you are communicating, because now your partner will want to actually listen to what you're saying, and you would also want to listen to what they are saying. So guys, back to how I resolved my issues. What I simply did was I was quiet. I just kept quiet. And mind you, when you keep quiet and your partner is talking, don't create this expression like they are fools, like nobody is born an idiot. Somebody is actually saying something. And everybody at some point are actually making a point. All right. The problem is we are not really listening. We're not paying attention. So yeah, I kept quiet and I gave this expression like, I don't like where this argument is going. Like, I would like to talk about this, but not like this. And then we actually ended the argument. And when we revisited the issue, both of us then realized that what we were even arguing about had no meaning. Like, it was so unnecessary. So this is a problem. Most of the time we actually allow these frivolities to come between us and then make us start begin to break that bond, that love that we share. Like I said, this thing happens gradually. It's not overnight. So let's not allow unnecessary things come between us and then we argue over nothing. And do you know that this even affects your mental health and it affects your relationship? So guys, let us learn how to, have a neutral ground when we are arguing. It's not about what you're arguing about. It's really about the argument. Conflict is not supposed to damage the love that you share. It's supposed to deepen it if you handle it well. So next time, before you start an argument with your partner, you have to choose your words like you still want this relationship to happen after the argument, because you don't have to break up because you had an argument, or you don't really have to break away the bond and the love that you share just because you had an argument. So when you're arguing, please kindly remember that after this argument, we still need to come back together stronger and deeper. hope you get my point. And if you do, if I'm making sense at all, kindly please share this video with somebody else, somebody who might need it. You never can tell what people are actually going through. Please share this video and kindly subscribe to my channel so that you can keep getting tips like this. Thank you again for listening to me, and I will see you in my next video.